Hello, it's Leah again. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen. Today we're going to do a cheater recipe, that's what I call it. We're going to do stroganoff. This is not traditional stroganoff. This is my recipe that I created many years ago when my son was small. I was working full-time and going to night classes. And I had to get dinner on the table. What are you going to do? You can't stop every night and get dinner. So this is one of those recipes that I would make sure I had everything in the pantry, and if I was in a pinch and I needed dinner real fast, this is what I would make. This is stroganoff, like I said, not traditional, but I'll show you how to do it, and I hope you can find some use in this one too. All right, let's get started. Okay, we're over at the stove, and I've just put 2 pounds of hamburger meat into my skillet. I am going to brown that and get it into crumbles. I have used other meats. I've used steak, which is good, more traditional, I guess. And I've used shredded chicken on this, and it's just as good too. So whatever meat you have in the house is what I put in this. Today, it's ground beef. This is 85% lean because that's what was on sale at the store this week. And this is more than what I need. This is 2 pounds. I don't need 2 pounds for this. I would probably use 1 pound at the most for one meal. So what I'll do is I will cook this up, get it all browned, and then I will decide, am I going to double this and make 2 stroganoffs, one for tonight and one for next week? Or am I going to put half of this hamburger meat back and use it sometime this week or next week? I'll put it in the freezer and I will either make tacos, burritos, or something else with the ground beef. Okay, so this is starting to get cooked. This is probably going to take about 5 minutes. And then I'll come back with you. Now on the back burner, I have my pot of boiling water. We are going to be using white egg noodles, which is the pasta that I use the most. I just have extra bags of it in my pantry all the time when I need it. So that's what we'll be making today. So we're going to brown up the hamburger meat, and when we come back, we will start the noodles and we'll start the rest of the process for the stroganoff. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so our ground beef is just about cooked. It's not all the way. So what I'm going to do to beef this up is I'm going to saute some mushrooms and some onions. So I'm just going to split my skillet in half. I'm going to move my hamburger to one side, and I'm going to put my onions and my mushrooms in the other side. And that's how we're going to cook it, so that we don't have extra pans. Okay. So now I have tilted my skillet a little bit off my burner so that my hamburger's not getting as much heat as my onions and my mushrooms, because now I want them to get caught up with the meat. But I didn't add them in earlier because I didn't want them to get overcooked, which can sometimes happen. Okay, so those are cooking on the side. Now I did decide I'm going to go ahead and double this, or I'm going to cook all this, the full 2 pounds, so that I can have stroganoff for next week too. Why cook another night if you don't have to? So cook once, eat twice or more is always best. So that's what we're going to do today. So that is why I have switched to a larger skillet. So what I'm also going to do now is my pot of boiling water is boiling in the back on my back burner, and I'm going to add my noodles to it now. So I have, wherever I put it, over here, I have my bag of white egg noodles. Like I said, that's pretty much all I use when I'm making pasta because I'm not fancy. I'm just trying to get dinner on the table. So I am going to put my noodles in my water, and I'm not going to cook it all the way cooked. I want it to be al dente. I want it to be, say, just a couple of minutes before it's ready. because it is going to cook more in the stroganoff. All right, we're back. So my hamburger meat is cooking on half the pan, like I said, and my onions and mushrooms are on the other half. They're just about ready to mix it all up together. What I want to do is I want to take a paper towel and drain the extra fat or liquid out of this skillet with the hamburger meat. So I'm just going to put that on there, use a thicker one, and just tilt my skillet forward. And that's going to sop up that extra grease. Now when I did switch skillets to the larger skillet, I did drain some of the grease. I didn't transfer all the grease over, so I did get ahead of the game there a little bit. I don't need all of it out. I just want to sop up some of that. Okay. So there it is, all saturated. I'll just put that on a paper plate until it cools off and I can put it in the garbage. So now I'm going to mix everything together. So now I'm mixing my sauteed onions and my mushrooms in with my ground beef. Now I did salt and pepper the meat a little bit when it was cooking. I don't really think it's very necessary because there is going to be a sauce on this. So that's up to you. I'm going to lower my heat on my hamburger. It's pretty well cooked, but I do want to keep it warm because we're about to do the sauce. Okay, now over here, let me see if I can move my camera a little bit. So the pasta is cooking. I am making penne pasta this time. I normally use wide egg noodles, but I did change that up. So we're going to use the penne. I think that'll look cute. I think that'll look real cute with the sauce. Okay, so here we go. Here is the sauce, and this is basically the whole cheater dish. So everything's ready here. This is all cooked. The onions are nice and translucent. The mushrooms have shrunk a little bit. So now we're going to start adding in cream of mushroom soup. And I also, if I have it, not always, I'll put in beefy mushroom soup. Right? This is just what's going to make the sauce, make the gravy, and it's going to be delicious. So in goes beefy mushroom soup. And now I have cans of cream of mushroom soup. This is organic cream of mushroom that I get through Azure Standard. There are several staples, foods that I buy in bulk to have in my pantry for recipes like this. That if I need a quick meal that tastes really good, but I don't have time because I've been working all day, this is something I will certainly make. And I used to make this on a regular basis. Every week we'd have at least one night a week with this. And we'd have one night a week with my skillet lasagna, which I have made a video on that one as well. That's a good, delicious lasagna you can do just in one pan. Okay, so as you can see, this is pretty thick. I would rather have it thinner, so I'm going to put in another can of cream of mushroom soup. Now you can always cut this with some milk or some water if you prefer. Okay, my pasta is boiling, so I'm just going to put it on for, let's go 6 minutes. I don't want it to cook all the way. I want it to still have a little bit of bite to it because it is going to go into this sauce, which will be hot, so it'll cook a little bit more. So I am not worried about getting my pasta all the way cooked. I'd rather it be a good minute, 2 minutes undercooked. Okay. Now this is looking good, but that's actually pretty thick. Pretty thick. So I'm going to go ahead and add one more can. because I happen to have it out. You don't have to. Now, I was never a fan of cream of chicken soup. I don't know what it is about cream of chicken soup. I don't like it really. So I don't use it very often, but cream of mushroom soup, I very much like. And I will make sauces with that. If I can figure out a way to use it, I will. This is still pretty thick, but it looks so good. Okay, I hope you guys can see that. So now what I do, and I've been doing this for years and years, is my son, when he was young, didn't like vegetables. He didn't like green stuff on his plate. So I would have to sneak it in to get him to eat it. So one of the things I did is in this recipe here, I would always put a can of green beans because he kind of had to eat it. And I didn't mind it. And actually it tastes really good. So this is what I did. So this right here basically is finished. This is the sauce I use. Simple, simple, simple. Now, I have made more than I need for dinner tonight, obviously, right? This is a pretty big skillet full. So at this point, I can let this simmer for a little while, which would be good, just to let all that cook in together. And I can take half of it and I can put it out and let it cool, put it into freezer bags, and put it in the freezer and just make it up whenever I want to in the next weeks or months. But today, I'm gonna put it all with the noodles, so it will be a completely cooked meal. We'll have it for tonight, and I'll make at least one that I can have for next week as well. Okay, so we're gonna do that. So let's keep an eye on the pasta, move it around a little bit. Okay, we still got a few minutes on that, so I'm going to come back in just a few minutes. Okay, hopefully you can see this better with the overhead camera. So, this is all done. Our pasta is now done. It cooked more like 8 or so minutes. It's not fully cooked, but it's pretty close. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transfer the pasta into the sauce, and I'm just going to use one of these spider things and drain it as I go, because I don't like to drain because it's a pain to put everything in the sink, and plus this cast iron pot is very heavy. So we're gonna move it over. We're not gonna move it all over because I want to wait and see how thick this is gonna be, because I don't want to put too much pasta in. Because I like a lot of sauce over the noodles. I don't want it too thin. So let's just see what we got. Now, my sauce has been on just medium low. You can see it still bubbling. Okay, we can definitely use more pasta. So let's get some more. So I only used 1 bag of pasta. If I were making a really big batch, and I do that a lot as well, then I would have put in more than 1 bag of pasta. And I would have got a bigger skillet and done a larger batch of the sauce too. So as you can see, this is not traditional stroganoff. There's no sour cream, there's no cream cheese, there's none of that. But this is really good. This is delicious. And it puts dinner on the table kind of effortlessly. It's not hard to do. You can do it with pantry staples. We'll go ahead and get some more. And remember that this sauce is going to thicken up, and right now this pasta going back into this hot sauce is also continuing to cook a little bit. Okay, I like the way this looks. So I think there's enough there. I think there's enough pasta. My skillet was just big enough. If I had made any more, I would have needed a bigger skillet. Now this is your choice at this point. You could put more cream of mushroom soup in this sauce. You could take it for sure. It's not that thick. I think it's just right, but you could put more in there. You can see the green beans. Okay, I'm gonna turn my heat off of everything. I'm gonna turn my fan off because it's hard to hear with that on. So now what I'm going to do is take that off the heat a little bit, still be able to see it. I'm going to package this up into tins. This is what I'm using. It's a small aluminum foil container. This is what I usually use. If I fill this to the top, this would be enough for my husband and I for a dinner. And if my son comes over, then I'll just pull 2 of them out if I have 2 extra. Okay, so everything's pretty hot right now. So I'm going to come back in a minute. I'll get my pans ready so that I can put these in the freezer after they cool off. Clean up a little bit, and then we'll come back and hopefully this will be cool enough to start putting in containers. Okay, we're back. Everything is cooled. We cleaned it up a little bit. So now I'm going to plate this up the way I normally would. I'll show you how I do it. So I have a plate here. I have a piece of garlic bread. This is Texas toast. I just get it in the freezer section so I can cook it one at a time. And then for myself, I would put a salad on. And then I would just put some stroganoff on the plate. Nobody's going to be disappointed with this, I can tell you. It is super good. See that? That's great. It looks good. Now in my house, nobody would eat the salad but me. So my husband and son, if they were having this, they would just have the bread, probably 2 pieces of bread and the stroganoff. I would eat it with all of that. Now if you wanted to make it look a little bit better, you could put a little bit of parsley on it to make it look good. So let's set that aside. So that's just one plate. So now we're going to take my tins. They're not very big, but if I fill it, this is enough for 2 people. Since it's me and my husband, that's what I'm going to do. First, let me try this. Let me get a piece of pasta and some sauce. Okay. That's good. That's really good. I like that. I've always liked that. I've made it so many times. Okay, so now we're going to fill these up. I have sprayed them lightly with cooking spray, just in case they stick later. Okay, so that's 2 scoops, 3 scoops. That's totally enough for 2 people. 3 scoops. That's pretty full. I could fill it a little bit more, but I'm gonna wait because I want to see how much I have left after I fill the others. Okay. So I hope you guys can see that, and you might not be able to. So let me move it a little bit. Okay, so that's the second one. Here's the third one. How about I do it like that? Okay. So I would let these cool completely. I would just put foil over the top, and I would put a label on them with what they are, the date, and how many people it would serve. So on this, I would put 1 to 2 servings. Okay, that's my last pan, which is just slightly bigger than the others. So look at this. I'm going to be able to have dinner for tonight, and I'm going to have enough extra for 3 pans. So that's 3 dinners for 3 different weeks where I don't have to cook. So for the next 3 weeks, if I wanted it that soon, and I don't always, I would simply pull it out of the freezer, and then that's 1 day a week I don't have to cook, which is fabulous. I would not cook more than 1 of these in a week. And I am running out of food in the freezer. I do batch cook quite a bit because that's easy, and that's the best way, I think, to cook. Cook once, eat several times. So what I've got here, I have a total of 4, plus what I put on my plate over there, which I know my husband's going to eat in just a few minutes. So here we go. Let me see if I can bring the camera in and show you. So there we go. Those are our 4 meals. So I will let these cool, and then I'll put foil over the top. I will label them with what they are, the date that I made them, and how many people they will serve. And then that's it. And I have made 4 meals 1 day. Excellent. I love it. So if you like this, this definitely is a cheater recipe, right? This is not your traditional stroganoff, but I've been making this for years. And if you've got to get dinner on the table and you don't have time, this is totally okay. This is a good, delicious dinner. It's quick, it's easy, and you can make a bunch of it at one time so that you don't have to cook later. It's delicious. Your family will still love this. It's good. If a chef is watching this, you're probably not going to like it because this is very cheater. With the convenience food, the canned food going into this. But this is easy, gets dinner on the table. I love it. I hope you guys love it too. Check my channel for other videos I've made. I have a skillet lasagna that's also a very quick and easy, simple meal. And I cook that in bulk as well and put those in the freezer. I've got some other things. I'll link to them in the description. Send me a message or a comment if you have anything to say, and please subscribe and like this if this is the type of content you like, and I will come up with some more. So visit my channel often, and I will put new videos on as often as I can. I do work full-time, so I'm trying to do what I can. I'm glad you guys joined me. Thanks a lot.